Entirely?
Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming today. I'm Christina, and I'm the Conservative candidate for Kelowna Centre. I'd like to welcome my colleague joining me today, Macklin McCall from West Kelowna Peachland. It's my great pleasure today to stand before you and introduce to you a man who's been fighting for British Columbians for over 2 decades. John Rustad is the leader of the Conservative Party of British Columbia and the person who has given the people of our province hope after the radical ideology of the NDP has put drugs on our streets, crippled our economy, and caused our cost of living to skyrocket. In Kelowna Centre, we are grappling with the effects of addiction in our city, near our businesses, and the addition of new supportive housing developments in our neighborhoods. We want real solutions for crime, public safety, housing, and especially for our loved ones who are in need of treatment. I'm thrilled to be part of the team helping John with this fight, and I know all of you are on our side. So without further ado, please help me welcome the man who has brought hope back to British Columbia and our next Premier, John Rustad.
Well, thanks very much, and it's a pleasure to be in Kelowna. So much positive. I always love getting an opportunity to be down here in this area. My wife and I enjoy coming down at least a couple times a year, visiting with friends. But there is certainly some issues that need to be addressed. And when we're looking at what's going on, for example, behind us, I think government needs to step up and do a lot more. And I know the City of Kelowna is doing the best they can. When you look behind me at the facilities here, they've provided porta potties, they've provided some trash cans and some wash facilities. They're out providing some food, and that's much needed. And I know that the city is trying to do everything it can for these people, but I think as government, like I say, we need to do more. Across the province, when we look at these situations, the tent cities that we've seen crop up, often we are seeing crime, not just within tent cities, but beyond, within the neighborhood, within the area. Drugs are commonplace throughout this, and occasionally we also have situations of violence. And in my opinion, this is the part of the problem. This is what needs to change. This is what needs to come to an end in British Columbia. And so part of this is we need to make sure we've got a clear path towards addressing this and cleaning up our streets. As the Conservative Party of British Columbia, we also recognize that it's not just about people who are homeless or people who are addicted or people with mental health. There's a combination of things that are happening. We need to do what we can for each of those groups. It's not a one-size-fits-all in order of being able to solve these things. But we're committed to bringing an end to having tent cities in this province. It is not the way that I think anybody would like to see their loved ones or people be able to live. It's certainly not what we want to see happening within communities because of the issues and things that can come up and happen as part of this. And so that also means, though, as part of that, we need to make sure that we have options. Where we have people with addictions, we need to make sure that we provide the opportunity for people to get clean through detox, and then to have the opportunity for supportive housing that is drug-free. And that's a key, in my opinion, is these facilities that we build need to be drug-free and a zero tolerance for drugs as well as for crime. We need to make sure that as we build these, as we put housing in and available, that they're in appropriate places within communities. We need to make sure we're engaging with community members, getting feedback, making sure that they understand exactly what we're doing, making sure that we have the support in place, because of course getting off the addiction in terms of the immediate addiction is only one thing. Being able to carry on with that, being able to move forward in a supportive way is a key piece. We need to make sure the services are there as part of having people being able to live in those facilities. It also means that for some people, we need to be looking at additional action taken by government and what we call compassionate involuntary care. And that is, of course, in the situation where you have a youth, somebody who is addicted, who refuses to go into treatment, say an 11-year-old girl, where parents would like to do everything they can to be able to help deal with that and give that youth the chance to be able to recover and to be able to get on with their life. We want to make sure that's available as an option in British Columbia. It's currently not an option, but we're also looking at more than just that, where you have situations where people have addictions and they are in that situation of severe addiction, not able to make good decisions for themselves. We are going to be looking at helping to build out some facilities that make sure that they can receive treatment as well, and as part of that involuntary compassionate care. We'll need to build out some other facilities. For example, we need to be able to have low security units, the option for being able to have people into these facilities who can receive those treatments on an ongoing basis and make sure that they receive that proper care in a safe environment. One of the challenges I think we have with our healthcare system is they're overwhelmed by what's going on with addictions. So part of that is going to be, we're going to create crisis response and stabilization units. These units will be able to go in and provide targeted care for those experiencing severe addictions or mental health crisis. And by doing this, we'll reduce the pressure that we have on our emergency rooms and make sure people can get the treatment that they need. But a key piece of all this is to make sure that we enforce law and order in our society. The Conservative Party will ensure that there's strict enforcement of public safety laws to clear both illegal encampments and to keep public spaces safe. It is time we have the places for people to be able to go in our communities where they can feel safe, where law enforcement will be given the tools needed to be able to make sure these encampments are removed and that order is restored and people can feel safe. Big piece of this is rejecting what David Eby has done in our society. We will be stopping David Eby's approach of handing out free drugs and crack pipes in British Columbia. These are arguably these policies are helping to fuel these addictions and making the situation far worse. When you look, for example, in Quebec, even though they got twice the population of British Columbia, we have had twice as many people who have died from addictions in here, or not twice as many, but we've had more people who have died from addictions here in British Columbia. So this needs to come to an end. It's been a complete disaster. We need to make sure that the public's interests are taken care of, that we restore public spaces for our communities to enjoy, for kids to be able to go out and play safely, whether that's our parks or streets, neighborhoods. They should be able to belong to families. We need to make sure we're looking after their rights. And I'll just give you an example. And down in Vancouver, with one of the parks that was taken over and became an encampment for many months, if not even longer than that, all the apartment buildings around there, that was the playground for kids. They don't have backyards to go and play in. They don't have a safe place to go. That was their place, and it was taken away because it was now become an unsafe place for children to be able to go and play. And I think that's wrong. As our society has been set up, we have these safe places that are there and available for children, and we need to make sure that continues to be available. So all part of this is having a fresh start in British Columbia, just bringing back common sense to this province in our approach in terms of how we address many of these things, making sure that we address the rights of all people in this province, making sure, quite frankly, that we find those paths that are desperately needed for people with addictions to be able to not only get housed, but to get the treatment they need so that they can restore and be on a path to recovery, I should say, in this province. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you. And just a reminder, if you're in Collin, to press *1 if you want to be in the